This
component of the.
conference will now be recorded.
So it is obtained from squalene. Squalene is converted to the lanosterol, and this lanosterol is further converted to the ergosterol. Okay. Now these azoles, they inhibit the formation of ergosterol from the lanosterol. So this step is inhibited here. Okay. So the enzyme it will inhibit is lanosterol sucralase. Okay. These azoles will inhibit. So the cell membrane cell membrane formation is inhibited. So it is a fungicidal. It is not a fungistatic. Okay. So that is the mechanism of action of all the azoles. So coming to the ketoconazole, side effects are nausea and vomiting. At the same time, loss of appetite is one side effect which is seen with among all the antifungal drugs. Ketoconazole, if you take it orally, loss of appetite is one seen. And headache, paresthesia, rashes, and hair loss. Okay, so I think most of you have experienced this ketoconazole shampoo, anti-dandruff shampoo. Whenever you're applying, there will be a little amount of hair loss because of this ketoconazole. If you're applying continuously for a longer time, okay. Most significant side effect of the ketoconazole is the androgen production from the testis is decreased. Okay, it's just not that, it is also displacing the testosterone from the protein binding sites. Okay, so it is inhibiting the production of the androgens, it is displacing the testosterone, so bound testosterone is decreased and the free plasma levels of testosterone are increased. So whenever this ketoconazole, if any woman is taking, if any man is taking, the gynecomastia is seen, loss of hair, libido, and the loss of libido is also seen, and oligospermia is also seen because androgen production in the testis is decreased. So ketoconazole orally it is not very much advised in the men, okay, because of this main side effects seen with the androgen hormones. Okay. In the woman, what happens is menstrual irregularities. Okay, whenever men will see that loss of hair, libido, oligospermia, if you take it in the woman, the first thing you will see is menstrual irregularities. The same way, the suppression of the estradiol synthesis is decreased, just like androgen production in testis is decreased. Okay, and hepatic, mild and asymptomatic elevation of transaminases is seen. Okay, so just serum transaminases levels are increased a little, but it is not very symptomatic. Okay, but it is contraindicated in the pregnant and nursing women because of this hormonal disturbances. Okay, so ketoconazole is special because of all these side effects. Coming to the drug interactions, mainly you will see, because I told you what happens is ketoconazole is absorbed very nicely in low pH, that is HCl, the gastric acid. Okay, so if you are taking any H2 blockers or proton pump inhibitors, antacids, what they do, they will decrease the production of the HCl, and they will also, antacids will neutralize the HCl. So there will be no HCl for ketoconazole to be absorbed into systematically. So the absorption of this ketoconazole is decreased because of all these gastric drugs. Okay, and same way CYP enzyme, ketoconazole inhibits this CYP enzyme. So any enzyme inducers, okay, like rifampin, phenobarbital, and carbamazepine and phenytoin, they will increase the metabolism of the ketoconazole because they will induce the enzyme which is metabolizing the ketoconazole. Okay, and the same time, ketoconazole and amphotericin B, they should not be given together. If you remember, amphotericin, I told you what, ketoconazole, what it does is they decrease the cell ergosterol synthesis. Okay, now amphotericin B, if you remember, I told you amphotericin B, it will go inside the cell wall, and along with the ergosterol will form this amphotericin will form a channel, and the channel is supported by this ergosterol. Okay, if you remember that last diagram. Now when this ketoconazole is given, it is decreasing the ergosterol synthesis. So this amphotericin B, it will form a channel, but the channel will not be supported by the ergosterol. Okay, so that is why these two drugs should not be given together. So it is decreasing the action of the amphotericin B. Okay. Uses, where it is used, I told you, because it is absorbed lipid soluble nicely. So all these tinea infections, especially tinea corporis, cruris, pedis, versicolor, and cutaneous candidiasis, seborrheic dermatitis, and dandruff, all these infections topically we can give for this infections. Okay, Coming to the next azole is fluconazole. Okay, fluconazole means one thing. See, this is the diagram. Infections where it can be given. Okay, especially this candidiasis. You can see the tongue here. The next diagram, if you can see here, the tongue oral thrush. Okay, fluconazole is the best drug for the candidiasis. It is a very nice drug. The candida, just a single dose sometimes is also sufficient to decrease this candidiasis. Okay, not just candidiasis. Here you can see here this brain diagram, the meningitis, and this is histoplasmosis. You can see this blue color slide here, the histoplasmosis, and again this coccidial meningitis also. Okay, all this coccidial meningitis, cryptococcal meningitis, histoplasmosis, and candidiasis, both systemic and mucosal. Okay, even in immunocompromised patients also, fluconazole is the best drug to treat this candidiasis. Okay, and this for this oral thrush, you know, not just tablet, you can take a gel or you can take a mouth rinse also where fluconazole is there. That if you take it and if you gargle in the mouth also around 4 times a day, that will be sufficient to decrease the candidiasis. Okay, sometimes even the gel will also be there, which can be applied directly like a paint on the mucosal membrane or even on this tongue. Okay, so if you apply it around 4 times, 3 to 4 times per day, the candidiasis will decrease. Okay, the same way the side effects will be the same thing: nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, rash, and the headache. And as usual, it is not recommended in the pregnant and the lactating mothers. Okay, the advantage of fluconazole over keto is it is not having any hormonal disturbances. Okay, coming to the itraconazole. Okay, this is one drug which is used systemically very good, very nicely. Okay, itraconazole, because of this hormonal disturbances, you may not give nicely. And fluconazole we can give orally also, but topically it is very better choice. If it is not decreased topically, then we will take fluconazole tablets orally. Okay, itraconazole is one drug which is given systemically to treat all these infections, all fungal infections. Okay, blastomycosis, orotrichosis, paracoccidiomycosis, histoplasmosis, vaginal candidiasis, dermatophytosis, and onychomycosis. Okay, remember all these things like dermatoskin, onycho nail, histoplasmosis, also skin infections, paracoccidiosporo. See, sporotrichosis, it will be this way. How the skin will be peeled off like this because of the sporothrix. And if you see here, this is how this on the slide the sporothrix will be there, just like old. If you see old. Just like spider web, you can see there. Okay, the paper, if it is crumbled, it will be like that. Okay, the skin sporothrix. So if you take the itraconazole tablet, okay, 100 mg and capsules will be there. 7 days treatment pack will be there, and that can be essential. That is sufficient for treating all these systemic infections. Okay, and the side effects will be nausea, vomiting, rash, hypokalemia, hypertension, edema, and headache. Here, the itraconazole also the same. Biggest problem is plasma transaminases levels are elevated. So hepatic function you have to check when itraconazole is being given to elderly patients or alcoholic patients, or a mildly elevated LFT is there, and you have to give itraconazole. Means you must always keep the liver function test on check. Okay, sometimes this is very rare, but impaired left ventricular function is also said, but it is very rare. Okay, but here also vaginal candidiasis is given itraconazole, but always the first drug of choice is fluconazole for candidiasis. Okay, same the gel or the tablet is given vaginally, and the candidiasis will be resolved very nicely. And coming to the voriconazole, this is one drug mostly we will give it for very severe infections. Okay, first we give fluconazole or itraconazole. Okay, if still the infection is very severe, like invasive aspergillosis, okay, or serious infections caused by pseudosporium, apiospermum, and fusarium, all these very severe and serious infections, voriconazole will be given IV infusion along with normal saline. Okay, and this side effects will be, the main important is QTC prolongation and voriconazole visual disturbances. Okay, VV, visual disturbances, that is, these are the very serious side effects which you have to keep the patient on check whenever you are giving voriconazole. Okay, and as usual, any injection we are giving, you may see some acute reactions. Okay, and high trough concentrations means the high plasma concentrations, they will be most of the time they will be associated with visual and auditory hallucinations, which will be decreased once the drug stops. Okay. Coming to the next group of drugs, that is echinocandins, that is caspofungin, micafungin, and edidulafungin. Okay, echinocandins, these are large cyclic peptides which will be having a long chain fatty acid here. Okay, so that is how the chemical structure will be there. So based on this only, echinocandins. Okay, one cycle with a long chain fatty acids. Okay, these are also especially designed for the candidiasis and the aspergillosis, and they are used only intravenously. Okay, there are no oral drugs in these echinocandins. Mechanism of action is also the same thing. Beta-1,3 glucan chains will be inhibited. So fungal cell wall will be inhibited and it leads to cell death. Okay. And caspofungin, micafungin, edidulafungin, all these candidiasis only. But side effects will be the same thing. GI side effects, flushing, histamine release, all those things. Okay. And coming to the griseofulvin source, it is extracted from the penicillin griseofulvin, and it is also active against the dermatophytic infections. And this is fungistatic because it is interfering with the mitosis, and so it is fungistatic. Okay, absorption, it is, I think I have dealt with this in the last class also, how it is used. Okay, duration of treatment is dependent on the site of infection, thickness, and all those things. Okay. And coming to the main drug, terbinafine. Okay, this terbinafine is one important drug where systemically this is a very good drug. Okay, and allylamine class. This is not an azole drug. This is an allylamine class of antifungals. This is a non-competitive inhibitor of squalene epoxidase. If you remember, I was teaching you, right? Squalene will give lanosterol, and lanosterol will form the ergosterol synthesis. Now, this terbinafine, it will inhibit this squalene epoxidase. So, the step from squalene to lanosterol synthesis is inhibited. Okay. Pharmacokinetics is, it is lipophilic, widely distributed, strongly plasma protein bound, and concentrated in the sebum, okay, stratum corneum, and the nail plates. So that is why it is mostly used in the nail infections, onychomycosis, stratum corneum, okay, the dead skin, and also even on the skull, okay, there also. Okay, excreted in the urine, main renal elimination, and the feces bile. So both are there, but main elimination is kidney. Okay. T-half is 11 to 16 hours. The main advantage of this terbinafine is there are no drug-to-drug interactions. Okay, it is not inhibiting the CYP450 just like the azoles. So there are no drug-to-drug interactions. So this is a very safer drug when compared to when we are giving multiple drugs in a patient. Okay, and side effects will be gastric upset, rashes, and taste disturbance is one side effect which is very commonly seen with the terbinafine. Okay, you have to always tell the patient that if there are any taste disturbances, just come back. Okay, and rashes is also one side effect. Okay, terbinafine, actually I couldn't get the picture, but that picture you see, it will be given like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Okay, so a strip will be there where when drug has to be taken, which and which day. Okay, so terbinafine will be available in the strips. So if sometimes one dose of tablet also will lead to hypersensitivity reactions, rashes. Okay, and hepatic dysfunction, hematological disorders, and as I have told you, severe cutaneous reactions is common with the terbinafine. Okay, uses, it is given topically also as 1% cream, and orally also 250 milligram OD tableted in tinea pedis, corporis, cruris, and capitis. Okay, tinea infections in all the areas. Okay, leg, the corporis, even on the hips, buttocks infections, even on the skull, and pityriasis versicolor. Okay. Onychomycosis, you know, onychomycosis, I think they might have told you in the microbiology, the nail infections, onychomycosis. Okay, you have to take 3 to 12 months oral therapy, but actually onychomycosis, even if the infection is very deep, you know, not just on the dead nail, if it has gone to deep, very beneath the nail also, even the skin mucosa is also infected, means you can go for the terbinafine infection, terbinafine treatment. Okay, and cutaneous and mucosal candidiasis, 2 to 4 weeks oral therapy if fluconazole is not available, or if fluconazole cannot be given to the patient. Okay, See, this is how I told you the squalene, which will form the ergosterol. The squalene epoxidase is the main enzyme. This terbinafine, other drugs like are naptefin and butanafine. The squalene epoxidase will be inhibited, and fungal cell death will takes place. Okay, and squalene also it will may disintegrate into some toxic products, which will also lead to fungal cell death. Okay, so terbinafine is having to anyway it will kill the fungus. Okay, if you are taking terbinafine means the fungus will be killed. Okay, see this is how you will see the onychomycosis. The nails are dead here, they are infected with the fungus. Now what happens is if they are even the below the underlying mucosa is also damaged means the terbinafine will act very nicely if you are giving systemically. Okay. Coming to the nystatin, I think I told you in the last class, right? And other topical, no, one more thing I have missed is 5-flucytosine. Okay. This 5-flucytosine. Okay, this is a cytosine. You remember that adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymidine, right? Cytosine is one of those pyrimidines. Okay, it is a water soluble pyrimidine analog related to the chemotherapeutic agent 5-fluorouracil. Okay, you will learn this 5-fluorouracil in the anti-cancer drug. Okay, and here this is also similar to the pyrimidine analog only. So it is also chemically it is just similar to the cytosine, and just a fluoro group is added there. Okay, orally absorbed distribution is also very good, kidney eliminated, and T half is very less, 3 to 4 hours. Okay, so where it is used? It is used along with the amphotericin B for the cryptococcal meningitis, and also with the itraconazole for chromoblastomycosis infections. Okay, but why is the what is the problem is because it is a pyrimidine analog, it can go and it can destroy the host the host bone marrow toxicity. Okay, the host cells are also damaged, which will lead to the bone marrow toxicity. So anemia, RBC cells formation is decreased, anemia, leukopenia, WBC cells are decreased, thrombocytopenia, platelet count is also decreased, and sometimes toxic enterocolitis is also seen because of this flucytosine. So it is having a very narrow therapeutic window. It is not. It is used only if the other choice of drugs are not very available. Okay. Spectrum, it is used in cryptococcal neoformans and some candida species and some chromoblastomycosis. Okay. So this is how flucytosine, how it is a drug. It will act like just like 5-fluorouracil, and these main pyrimidines are not formed. It is inhibiting the formation of the pyrimidines, so the fungi cannot multiply and it cannot act on the. It cannot multiply, so the fungi cannot further grow. Okay. So coming to the topical. Okay. Now topical antifungals are very commonly used. Okay, antifungal drugs. So topical antifungals are very much you have to remember, either it can be asked as a 4 marks question or 2 marks question also, and you have to know because most commonly used these creams are most commonly available in our homes also. Okay, especially used for dermatophytic infections. Okay, first drug is stolnaftate, which is having a poor penetrability, but this is an effective drug for tinea crudis, the butt infections and the corporis also. It can be used for 1 to 3 weeks. Okay, now how it acts is, see, any antifungal drug, it is always, most of the time, it is used along with the salicylic acid. Okay, now this salicylic acid, it is having a keratolytic action. So it will first destroy the dead cells. Okay, the keratin will be lysed up, and when the keratin will be lysed up, this antifungal can go inside, it can penetrate easily, and it can act there. Okay, so if it is discontinued, just like the anti-tubercular drugs or anti-HIV drugs, relapses are very common. Okay, because it is applied topically, little irritation will be most common, and stingy sensation will be most common with almost all the drugs. Okay, next one is cyclopyrax and olamine. Okay, it is also same thing. It penetrates the superficial layers and even reaches the hair roots also. And the tinea infections for the hair also, it can be treated with the cyclopyrax. Okay, so tinea infections, pityriasis versicolor, and dermal candidiasis. So the advantage with the cyclopyrax olamine is it is used as a nail locker. Nail locker means nothing but just like a nail polish only. Okay, it is if you go and ask any pharmacy cyclopyrex as a nail lacquer, they will give you a nail polish bottle. Okay, it will be very transparent, and just like nail polish, how you'll apply, you have to apply the drug same like nail polish, only on the nails. Okay, it is used in the onychomycosis infections, and also in the vaginal candidiasis, you will have a gel cyclopyrex ointment which you have to apply vaginally. Okay. Next one is undecahylonic acid. This is a fungistatic, means it is preventing the multiplication of fungus, and it is always used in combination with the zinc salt. Zinc salt, it will increase the growth. Okay, so that is why this fungi will damage, then the normal cells will start growing and the immunity will be improved. Okay, Tinea pedis infections for the especially what is this, the foot infections. Okay, and the nappy rash for the kids. Okay, and the Tinea cruris. And then benzoic acid. Okay, this is one antifungal drug which is having antibacterial property also. Okay, same fungistatic only, and the eradication of the fungus needs prolonged applications till the infected keratin is shut off. Once the keratin has been shut off, this fungi can grow. This drug, antifungal drug, can penetrate nicely and it can kill it. Okay. If it is hyperkeratotic lesions are there, means you always have to give with the salicylic acid, that which is available as while Whitfield's ointment, where benzoic acid is 5% and salicylic acid is 3%. Okay, this Whitfield ointment is most commonly asked in your Viva and also in your PG entrance. The concentration is quite commonly asked. Okay, 5% and salicylic acid 3%. Okay, the same way irritating and burning sensation will be side effects. Just like terbinafine, butanafine is also one drug. It is a benzylamine congener of it, and it is also used for tinea infections of cruris, corporis, and pedis. Okay. One more is that Viniadoxler, which is also having fungal and bacterial property, but antibacterial property, but the antifungal activity is weak. Okay, and it is most commonly used as a luminal amebicide. Okay, when I will tell you amoeba, you can understand that. Okay, luminal amebicide. Okay, it is killing the amoeba, but luminal is something which is different. It is used for same dermatophytic infections and also mycosis barbae. Means some people will be having bald hair. The hair growth will be stopped because of this fungal infections. You'll see mycosis barbae and seborrheic dermatitis. Okay, skin infections and the infected eczema, furunculosis and pityriasis also. This is also available as vaginal creams for monilial and trichomonas vaginalitis. Okay, and sodium thiosulfide, which is also a weak fungistatic, especially active against the Malassezia furfur. Okay, and 20% solution is there, which is applied 2 times for 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. So this is the table where which drugs of choice you can understand here. Okay, which drugs of choice here. Okay, yeast, this is how the classification is there for you in your microbiology, right? Yeast like fungus, filamentous fungi, and dimorphic fungi. Yeast is Cryptococcus, and the disease is caused by the meningitis, polyenes, the amphotericin B, all those things. Okay, amphotericin B will be very good for the cryptococcal meningitis and also azoles. But the best drug is here polyenes. Okay, amphotericin B, all those. Yeast like fungus is Candida albicans. Okay, whatever the drugs are there, fluconazole. Okay, that is the best drug of choice. Okay, fluconazole. Any candidiasis, fluconazole is the drug of choice. Azole or triazoles is there. Amphotericin B is also there, but because of its systemic side effects, we will prefer azoles or triazoles. Okay. Next, coming to the filamentous fungus, Trichophyton, Epidermophyton, and Microsporum. All of them will cause skin and nail infections. That is why it is called as tinea or ringworm. Same, azoles are the drugs of choice. Azoles cannot be given, and if you have to give something systemic intravenous, go for the griseofulvin and terbinafine. Okay. Next, coming to the aspergillosis, I told you polyenes, amphotericin B is the drug of choice, pulmonary aspergillosis. Next drugs will be echinocandins and the azoles. Okay. Dimorphic fungi, Histoplasma capsulatum, histoplasmosis, okay, and coccidiomycosis, blastomycosis. Amphotericin is the drug of choice here, and then azoles are also the drug of choice. You will see the risk and benefit, and then you will give. Okay, don't want systemic side effects, go for the azoles. But if it is very severe, you have to compromise for the risk also. Then you have to go for the amphotericin B. Okay. So these are the drugs of choice for different fungal infections. That's it. Okay. So that is about the antifungals. Okay. So antifungals, you